All right, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mary Holsclaw. I am the moderator for this session. You are in room F. We are here with Ms. Karina Andson, Hardina with Andson, pardon. And we're going to be talking about financial literacy and some wonderful things that Andson has for middle school students. If you have any questions or concerns, please put them in the chat. I will be more or less floating around in the background to help provide support. If you have any technical concerns, please direct them to me, and I will do my best to assist. But overall, good to see everybody ready to learn more about what Andson has to offer. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Ms. Ferdinand.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for spending your beautiful Saturday afternoon here with us. Again, my name is Karina and I'm with Andson. If you don't know about Andson, we are a relatively small nonprofit here locally in Las Vegas, but we try to make a big impact with a small team. There's 3 of us who work with what we do. There's 2 things that we do. One that I'm going to talk about today, which is financial literacy. And the other part is that we offer free tutoring at 13 different locations throughout the Valley. We serve anywhere between 3,500 to 5,000 students in a year, unduplicated. So I say for a team of 3, administrative team of 3, we do a pretty good job. So pretty excited to be here today. I'm going to talk about something brand new. So if you didn't go to the first session, we have offered OpenVest financial literacy program for elementary students since 2018. That is grades 1 through 5. It is absolutely free. But what we are going to be launching this fall is a middle school curriculum. And so it has never been used before. We are very excited to bring it out. A little bit nervous on my on my part, but no, very, very excited to be able to bring a second part because we believe in growing the curriculum and bringing it all the way through. There's a lot of options out there for middle school and high school. We are probably one of the few that offers elementary level. But in order to just feel like we're bringing it all the way through and growing it, we wanted to bring it into the middle school level. So I am going to share my screen. I'm going to try to share my screen. And thank you for being patient with me. This is not one of my strong points here with technology. Everything good? Can you see my screen? Okay, so middle school here. I cannot find my mouse. I don't know where it goes. So again, here's my information. If you want to email me and reach out to me, there's my email address, karina@andson.org. That's our telephone number, our direct cell phone number. And where you will be able to go, not yet, but coming soon, probably in August, you'll be able to go to openvest.org. You will see at the top right-hand corner, there is going to be a little button that says sign up for free. And you can even, I mean, it says elementary right now, but there's going to be middle school up there come probably August, maybe if I get things done early, the end of July. But you'll be able to click and sign up for free, absolutely free to you. I'm going to tell you 2 different options that you'll be able to do here in just a moment, but that is my information there. And my screen is black. Okay, so we had to give you an example. Again, this is going back to our elementary school, but that's what we have been doing. We had a school come on for the very first time. I hope this is the screen I was supposed to go to. The other one was black. Tolan was a new school that came on for the very first time this year. And they decided they wanted to start with only the grades that had the Nevada standard requirements. They had never done our program before. For the elementary school level, we have 8 lessons. We have a review, we have 8 lessons, and then they have a final review for all the lessons they've done. They have a pre-test and a post-test. This shows you the amount of information that they gain in 8 lessons. So grade 3, grade 4, grade 5, and then overall, which was almost 44%. This was phenomenal. The teachers did an amazing job. This is the first time that any of these students had been given this information from our lessons. And so I was absolutely floored by the great job that these teachers did. Grade 3 just blew it out of the water. So very, very wonderful job. But just to give you an example of what kind of types of things that we are seeing, we have 5 elementary schools currently that do all the way from grades 1 through 5. And then with the free version that we have for elementary, we have over 127 people worldwide. We just had somebody sign up in Australia. Who knew? That use our lessons. And so it's very exciting to see that we are reaching out all over and making a difference, hopefully. But we really want to make a bigger impact here locally and by bringing middle school. So what does that look like? So I did a lot of research before I started this. And so I was looking at different options. There are different options for you to pull out there. And I saw, wow, there's like 42 lessons, 65 lessons. Wow, to me, that's a little overload. You guys have so much stuff on your plate, and trying to add yet another standard into what you're trying to teach is really difficult. And so when we started building these out from the beginning in elementary school is to try to make your job easier. And so what I tried to say was, what is the key things that we want middle school kids to take away before they go into high school and hopefully get more lessons. But for us, it's building that house, building that foundation, building the walls, building the roof, right? And so these are the walls. We've already built our foundation in elementary school. Now we're going to build the walls. And then when they get to high school, then they can build the roof for that house. So what I decided was to break it down into 16 lessons and to cover the different topics that I think: saving, spending, earning, careers, which would be future, budgeting, credit, investing, and then of course protection. We're talking about getting online, right? What do we share with things? What kind of insurance are you going to need when you start to get out there and you buy a car, when you buy a house, those types of things. And so I really tried to break it down into those 8 core things that we think that middle school kids need to be given before you step into high school, and then they get into the real nitty-gritty of things, or we hope anyway. So you'll see over here, each lesson is going to include state, national, and Common Core standards. It's going to have vocabulary. It's going to have a practice worksheet. It's going to have videos. It's going to have memes. I'm going to show you exactly what those look like. And they flow exactly the same way. So each lesson, when you pull it up and you put it up on the screen, they're going to go, oh, we're going to do money today. So they're going to get used to the flow of what those lessons are. Over here, you will see that we've got the practice worksheets. And so usually these are going to be 2 pages. You can do these in the classroom. You can break these lessons down into 2 if you want, make them into 4 so they're only 30 minutes long. However you want to do them. This is supposed to be flexible for you to use in the classroom. There's going to be a PDF that you can print out, or you can do a virtual one so that you can pull up a Google Sheet and they can use it online. We want this to be used however works best for you in the classroom. But these are going to be the 16 core lessons. I had a meeting with the teacher not too long ago, and she's like, 16 lessons. And I was like, I get it. It seems like a lot, but when you look at the other options that you have out there, I really tried to break it down to where you can do a couple lessons a month if you can fit them in, and make it work as best you can. Unfortunately, in order to hit those standards, you got to kind of dig a little bit deeper. For middle school students, you need to. You can't just hit it and run. Elementary school, kids, you can spend a little less time and they can get those concepts and then keep building on it from grade to grade to grade. And by 5th grade, they're going to have a good understanding of the concepts. So I don't know what happened to my screen. Okay, so that was supposed to be, thank you for hanging in there with me, guys. I don't know what happened to my screen. Let me try this. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I know, thanks for your patience, is going to show you one of the lessons that is complete and ready to go. And this one is talking about savings. And we were talking earlier, we were talking about interest, and they were talking about what they used in their 5th grade class to share. But this one is talking about free money. I'm not talking about paying money, but we do talk about both in these lessons. So, ta-ta, that one worked right away. Very exciting. So you will get access to a Google Drive, and all of the lessons will be in the Google Drive. These are all presentations. And then at the end, all of your links to your PDF worksheets, to any games, any types of things are going to be linked directly in these. So let me show you what this looks like. Hopefully. All right. So on the second page, much like our elementary, we're going to give you all the standards that are covered in the lesson. So you don't have to go looking for those. So we've got your national financial literacy standards. If we cover the Nevada State financial literacy standards in this lesson, now remember, I break it down into 2 lessons. So if I don't hit it in the first lesson, I'm going to hit it in the second lesson. So don't look at it and go, well, I shouldn't do this lesson. No, I just break it down into 2. And so it's going to be hit in the second section. We decided to, because we do have people from all over using these, we're like, what about the states that do also have financial literacy standards? We should also look those up too. I know a whole lot about financial literacy standards. So we included Arizona, we included Texas, and then of course, like I said, we have your Common Core in there too. So anything that you're doing, you don't have to look it up. It's in there. Now, at the end, when you do these, again, this is brand new. These have not been used before. So if you get to the end of these and you're like, hey, by the way, on that one lesson, you could have added Common Core, blah, 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 blah. You would be doing me a huge favor. So just so you know, this is new. It has never been used. So we are going to be asking for a huge amount of feedback from you because we want this to be great and work for you. And we just appreciate anyone willing to come out there and give it a try for us and let us know how it works. So we use the memes. We want this to be fun. We want them to be interactive. We want to catch their attention. So we want to tell them free money, some free money. All right, because we're talking about interest, right? Earning interest. So vocabulary, words. All right, so it's going to be a little flip thing here. We do this similarly on the elementary. You're just going to click on it. And you're supposed to cost of borrowing and earning. And then we give you example sentences. And then of course, something here, all you have to do is click that, takes you back. I'm pretty sure there's probably a little, nope, where should you put that? Okay. So then after you finish the vocabulary, all of your videos are right in here. All you have to do is click and play. It's going to say, I'm telling you exactly what we're talking about, understanding interest. Now we're getting into the 2 types of interest. Fun times, simple interest and compound interest. We would love to be able to have our own videos in here. Unfortunately, small budget, small nonprofit. We have tried to get some money for that. Someday, maybe if that happens, we will make our own videos. I would love to do that. But for right now, we are pulling from YouTube. Some amazing other teachers, other people have already done them for us. And so we pull those in for those already. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Sorry. Next page. There we go. This happens to be another great teacher who already did this. So this is going through the calculations. He's awesome, by the way. And then now you're going to do some practice. So now you see here, we give you this, and then we're going to talk about it. This gives you the opportunity to do those practicing. So now we're going to do compound interest. Again, something fun. Oh my gosh, you know, and trust me, everybody's face gets like that when you start talking about. So again, built-in video, compound interest. And then we like, you know, again, more examples, putting it together. Oops. I don't know what I did there. Sorry, too many clicks. So again, taking those 2 examples that we already did, you can now put it into this here. So you're working together, doing it as a class, however you want to do it, everything. And then you're going to do a review. And there's a game, which will have the link in here, shopping spree game, practicing simple and compound interest. You just click on that and it takes you there. And then now it's your turn to practice. Anyone can be cool, but awesome takes practice. So you've got your virtual lesson and you've got the PDF, and I will show you both. Oh, another screen. Maybe. All right, here we go. So here's the printed one. Now, I told you there are two options for doing this program. You can go to the openfest.org and you can click on the free version, and then you can print these out yourself, however you want to do this. Now, for us, if you want to work directly with me, which I would love to work with anyone, any school, even a single classroom teacher, because again, we're trying to gather data. We're trying to prove that this actually works really well for you. I want your feedback. I want to know if this is going to work well for you. Because again, this is for you all. This is for you. This is for your students. And so, we want to know what works well for you. If you want to work with us, we will print these out for you. We will offer these to you. Not only that, when you do your pre-test before you get started and your post-test, we'll collect all the data for you. And then we'll just simply send it back to you and say, here's your test results, your grades are ready to go, and you don't have to do anything. That helps us, and it helps you, because then we get the data that we can go back to our funders and say, look at what a great job these people are doing. Look at what these kids are learning. See how effective this program is. And then they can hopefully give us a little bit of money. And then it also helps you, because we're doing the work for you, hopefully, making your job easier. So again, going back to the worksheet, we can print this for you, or you can print it yourself, make copies if you want to. This is all of the thing. We tried to break it down, calculate the simple interest. We got some word problems here. So we're doing writing, we're doing math. Each one is different depending on what we're here. Next page on the back. Now we're doing compound interest. Again, here's your thing, breaking it down. What does that mean? Now you got your word problems, and now we actually want you to do compounding interest with a yearly interest rate and fill it out. Okay. For us, it's like getting the concepts. It's not so much, now I gotta go back to, it's not so much, no, that's not what I wanted. I apologize.
Hey, Karina, while you're
Yeah.
looking for that,
Yes.
pardon me, I do have a question, and I think
Yes.
it's pertinent to ask it now. Do you happen to have these available, or if they're built into Canvas modules?
That was
Maybe-
something that we had talked about doing, but they're not. They're just standalone, Google Slides right now.
Could they be added into Canvas?
You know what? I don't know. We've never tried that. That's a very good question.
Julie, does that answer your question, dear?
You know what? That is a very good question, and let me write that down, because yeah, let's figure that out, because I know that there's a lot of people that work in different platforms, and that was our concern, was that some use this and some use that. And so we thought if we used the Google Slides, that would be
Probably the most accessible.
yeah, the one that everybody can use and everybody can pull up. But that's a very good thing. Like, maybe we can convert it over into the most popular things that are being used. Is Canvas the one that's the most popular being used in middle school, or?
So Canvas is available to all school districts. It is the Nevada Department of Education's LMS system that we use for professional development. I know that this person asked about Canvas because it's Clark County's LMS
That's what they're being
system.
used in middle school. Okay.
And
Okay.
there's another question of, can this information go into Teams, Microsoft Teams? Because there's
Okay.
another district that uses, that's more Microsoft. Some districts, to be fair, are not using Google.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you who they are off the top of my head. I just know in general.
Okay.
Julie, I don't know that question. I don't know that answer.
Yeah, the reason I ask, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but the reason I ask is because if they are redoing Nearpod, you can take slides and slide it into Nearpod. And so everything can be just auto converted right into a Nearpod, and then a Nearpod can be put right into Canvas. But if they're not renewing Nearpod, then we can't slide it right in.
So it's better to be in a Canvas slide, or set up in Canvas.
So, point of reference, Canvas is available. Not everybody uses it. So there will be options of, can people use it in Canvas? Because you've got charters that may want to use this as well in private schools. So it's almost it's the catch of, what is the most user friendly? Because I know there's also a workaround with Google with some of the work that I do. So there you go.
Okay. Oh, yeah, sorry, I was talking and wasn't clicking. Okay, well, I mean, that, if Canvas is the other secondary most popular thing being used in Clark County, then that's certainly something we can take a look at, seeing if we can set them up in that. So at least you'd have the option of either Google Slides or Canvas. But that's my other team member question. She's, as you can tell, she's the technology person, not me. So, okay, let me look into that, and thank you for the feedback on that, because you know, we were just thinking this is the most easiest way for you to be able to just access this, and we didn't, you know, we didn't want to get into like all these but if Canvas is the one that Clark County is using, then we'll definitely take a look at seeing if we can convert that over so that it makes it easier. Again, we're here to make it easy for you, not harder. So yeah, okay, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Okay, so now then that leads to a secondary question for me, because where am I? Sorry. I at least ask that once a day at this point in my age. Okay, so the virtual lesson, you're going to get this. And again, this is set up in Google. So as we go through this, let me know what would be a better way to set this up. So you would make a copy when it decides it wants to make a copy. And when it finishes making a copy. And as you can see, it's exactly the same thing as the PDF, but it's set up for you to use in a Google slide. So as you can see, you can type your answer here, type your answer here, type your answer here. So we've set that up to be there. So knowing what you just told me, what would be a better way to do the practice worksheet versus Google Slide?
We can use Google Slide. I just didn't know, like, continue presenting and we'll see what else you have, and then I'll stay on and we'll chat.
Okay.
Doing
Okay.
great. Keep going.
Oh, no. I just want to make sure that if there's another way, I take my notes right now so we can make these updates. But this would be the Google slide for the practice worksheet. But also, again, there's the PDF that you can print, share out however you want to do that. But this is the virtual one that we have created. And again, this is also set up in Google Slides where you can do that. And so if there's an easier way to do that, again, feedback, we appreciate it. And it just, again, we're just here to do it better for you. All right. Okay. And so that is essentially, as you can see, the setup of each lesson. So all the slides. Now, what you can't see, because I was in the presentation mode here, and I still can't see, because my skin is down here. Before you do the thing, all of the notes are down here. So come up with your own, continue practicing, use these examples. This video goes over the basics. So before you do the lesson, you can go through each of the slide, and I try to give you some ideas of like, hey, this video shows how money grows with compound interest. Just giving you some hints on all of these. So this is the exact flow for each one. Most of them at the end will do some sort of a fun game for you to play with the kids. Some of them don't, but I try to include as much as I can with that. All of them are going to, include your standards. We try to make it, a little bit engaging without being like too crazy on those. But yeah, 16 lessons are all laid out this way. We try not to make them too crazy, too hefty, but still for us, it's not so much like we don't want you to do a ton of math. We don't want you to spend a lot of time on that. We want you to get the concept. Simple interest, compound interest. It's the concept of how much more you can grow your money with compound versus simple. And that's really how we had built and done our elementary lessons as well. So that is what all of our lessons look like, 16 lessons. Again, this will probably be available. I'm going to hopefully I'm going to say the first part of August, we're going to have it up there. But what you'll see is if you just go to the, let me go back to, thank you for being patient with me, guys. When you go to our, we'll probably make some sort of announcement at some point, probably mid-July, middle school is coming. You can email me directly and say, hey, when it's ready to go, let me know. I'm interested in doing it. Or you can just keep checking openbest.org. Under the free, we'll make some sort of a post probably on the page. Middle school is now available. Again, if you're interested in working with us directly, it just helps us that much more. When it comes to us, gathering data and going back to our funders. Chase Bank happens to be one of our biggest funders. And we've been trying to get schools to just like, hey, just try a couple out, just let us know how it's going so that we can at least say to Chase Bank, we have some schools that are, or we have some teachers out there that are giving it a first test drive. But everybody's everybody's overwhelmed, and we get it. It's, we're still coming out of that, hard time. We get it. So anyone that's willing to give it out a try, work with us so that we can go back to Chase Bank and say, hey, we're excited and we've got a couple people on board, and they're coming back to say, yay, it's working, or whatever it is. And that way we can do the work for you, get you your pre and post test, any kind of support you need, any printed materials that you need. But this is brand new. It's we're calling it our pilot year to just try to get it out there just to see how it's working. I still feel like even our elementary school level stuff is pilot, because every single year I send out the feedback, I get it back, and then I go, all right, let's make these changes, because I want it to be what you all want and what you all need. And if it's not working, what good is it? And so the key is that we want it to be free. We're not asking you for any money. We just want this to work really well for you. And so that's essentially, again, pilot, throwing it out there, and hopefully launching it this August for you guys to give it a whirl and let us know how it's working. So that's what we're doing, and I'm excited and a little nervous, but just really hoping that we get some people on board to give this a try with us and let us know. So that's essentially what I had to share. So if there's any questions, any comments, anything at all, I'd appreciate, anything that you have to say, since we're giving it a first try.
Yeah, so a couple of comments. They can always use the PDF in Canvas, so there's a workaround.
Oh, good.
The question that we have is, how long do the lessons take at the elementary level?
Elementary level, it depends on your grade level. So I would say your younger grade levels is probably maybe 40 minutes or so. Once you get into your 4th and 5th grade, you can hit that 55 minutes or 60 minutes or so. A lot of times, just like this one, you're hitting your Common Core. Sometimes it's heavy on the math, sometimes it's heavy on the writing. And so our elementary, they'll break it down. Sometimes they'll throw it into the math and social studies. Like they'll start in social studies and then it'll run into the math time, because they're covering more math. And then sometimes they'll start in social studies and then they'll run into, writing or reading or whatever, because it covers the Common Cores as well as the social studies. So that's about it, like anywhere between that 40 to 60 minutes, just depending on the age level. So that's that. I would say, again, these have not been tested, so I can't say exactly. For me, the elementary are built around conversations. We want kids to be comfortable about talking about money. It's very personal. And so I want the same thing for the middle school. we're doubling the number of lessons that we have, but I want them to still, be meaningful to where you're still having the conversations about it, talking about, yeah, this family maybe can't save as much money, but are there other ways maybe that they can save or different ways to do it? A lot of our families are unbanked in our schools. We're in areas where the families work on cash only. And so, like maybe this family has a debit card, and which one of the lessons that we talk about here. But then maybe this family is a cash only. So you talk about different ways of saving, envelopes, you label your envelopes, and maybe this family here has a savings account. So just being open to having those conversations that you have there, even though we're doubling lessons and it's going to take a little bit more time, you can see the Common Core that maybe you can. There's actually the one teacher I was talking to. I can't remember what it was that she was teaching, and she said, "Well, I'm going to have the math person do this lesson, and I'm going to do this lesson, and I'm going to have the English teacher do this one because of the Common Core, where it fell into the Common Core." I mean, however it works for you, right? Because you're still covering your standards. It's just like this one's more writing, this one's more math, this is more social studies because you're talking more about social things. So they can break it down that way.
Beth, does that also answer your second question?
What was the?
Well, the 16 middle schools, you have 16 middle schools planned. Will each of them take 40 minutes or so? I feel like you kind of flowed into both.
Oh, the middle school lessons, I would have to say is, like I said earlier, is more like an hour each.
Okay.
Yeah, the elementary is 40 to 60 minutes. I would say the middle school is probably going to run about an hour. Just because there's a lot of video in there. And so that's going to take a little bit more time to go through the videos and then do the practice afterwards. Yeah.
All right. Yes, thank you for
Sorry, that
those.
wasn't very clear. We were talking elementary and then went back to middle school, so.
Right. So another question, is there potential for modification accommodation for students who receive special education services?
Oh, goodness. I'm very open to working with anyone that wants to do that. Absolutely. Again, we're a very small team. You're looking at the curriculum writer right now, as well as the person who runs the academics tutoring program and grant writer. And anyway, but no, definitely, if that is something that you would like to have in your school and that's something you're interested in, I am more than happy to work with you on that. You just reach out to me, just send me an email, and I'm more than happy to look at how we can modify that for you. Absolutely. And I mean, we can look for opportunities to fund that too. So yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Just send me an email. Anything that we can do to help. Absolutely.
Okay. So far, any other questions, friends, while we're here? Okay. Seeing none, I will stop the recording.